Pins and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our life. Stitch by stitch they weave the tale. A patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
Hello, everybody, and welcome today to our live and our anniversary. And we're going to talk about related things to that, and you already saw the clickbait, I mean the title of this. But anyways, I'm just checking here to make sure that everything's coming through loud and clear at your end.
Yeah, your camera might be dirty.
What? Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are coming through today. What? The camera's dirty?
Look, it's all fuzzy on one side.
Do not adjust your set.
Still fuzzy. Oh well.
I think it's always been fuzzy. I think it's because of the lights in behind.
Okay.
Gee, is there any time you can sit down and not find some little criticism? Actually, it looks worse up there. But you're right.
I'm not used to seeing that. Usually it's
What?
pretty clear.
I don't know. It might be because if you notice, the lights are different now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're a little brighter.
Oh, wow.
Well, don't stare into them. You'll be blinded by the light. But anyways, yeah, okay. So we're just doing some technical stuff here. Don't mind us. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, there might be a way to reduce that if I go echo, fabric light off. Okay. Better or worse?
Yeah, a little better, I guess. I don't know.
It may be from that light, the way that the lights are.
Okay.
I mean, the lighting in this room for these things is like, okay, we're not professionals, you know. Okay, well, now that we've had that little private discussion going on, welcome everybody. Glad to have you here, and let's see who is here. Dana is here, and Dana was first today. You beat out Russ, Dana. You're the new #1. Of course, Russ says, happy anniversary. Who'd have thunk Walter would have accepted 42 years of abuse? What makes you think he doesn't like to be abused? You don't know everything about our relationship. Don't make me get out the whip and show you that. I don't know who abuses who more. Yeah, whatever. Okay, and Caroline is here. And Barb is here. And Nina is here as well. And Inez. And Dubrovka. And I imagine Al is there too. Wishing you all the best today, she says, as always, from Dubrovka and Al. Judy is here. Julie Kuhn is here as well. Oh, Russ is saying 42, the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Okay. Not sure what that means, but I'm sure in Russ's mind it means something, so we'll just go with that. Charlotte's here. Hi, Charlotte. And Christine is here as well. She says, happy anniversary, Stephen Walter. Do tell your secret to so many years. Abuse. Or possibly 42. I don't know. There's something Russ has got there that we don't know. We'll talk about that in a bit because we have had people ask us over time some questions about how we met and things like that. So we can only tell you certain things, though. Some things have to be kept. It has to be kept PG. Bonnie is here. Hi, Bonnie. Thank you for your good wishes too. Mona is here. Karen is here. It's happy solstice. Yes, it is the winter solstice. And we'll tell you why this is actually the date that we have our anniversary on as well when we get to that. Thank you, Karen B. Sue's here. Hi, Sue. Missed you at the So Day, but you already told me you weren't going to be able to come because of, football. Or no, you were doing your family thing, I think, yesterday as well. Gloria is here. My Magnolia World is here. Today's day and age is that no mere in today's age that's no mere feat. This is very true. And Gloria says happy anniversary. And Marilyn is here. And Suzanne is here as well. And Crocus Photographer is here. I'm not sure who Crocus Photographer is, but welcome, Crocus Photographer. And thank you for the wishes. Judy is here from California. Em is here from Taiwan. Hi, Em. Pat is here as well. And, it's Kathy from sunny Regina is Crocus Photographer. Yeah, ever since YouTube went to this new thing with these other names, we don't know who anybody is anymore. And Russ says 42. Have you not read or seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I tried reading it one time, but Eh.
I did read it, and I actually sort of taught it at one time in one of my schools, and I don't even remember anything much about it. All I remember is I hated it. Um, Betty is here, and Melissa is here as well. Deluxe 110, that's Pam in Minnesota, is here. Oh, Charlotte knew what the book was. Yep. And Betty Kennedy. Did I say Betty? Yes, I did. Short memory. And oh, it's Jen from Perth. Yeah. Okay. I never remember that. You know,
Yeah, I remember one of the women that were trying to pick us up on that first trip we took a long time ago.
Yeah.
To England, suggested reading Hitchhiker's Guide.
The woman that tried to pick us up.
Yeah, it was Cheryl Bornstein and I can't remember what the other one's name was. Remember those two women that were hanging around?
Oh, from way back.
And we went to the Edinburgh thing. And
yeah. We went to that disco, and there was that.
They didn't clue in that Steve and I were together. So.
No. Yeah, that was. Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah. That's like Donkey's age. That one's like like 35 years ago, or more than 35.
Somebody Waterman or
Wasserman. Wasserman. That's right.
Jewish girls.
Yeah. Didn't one of them work for Coca-Cola or something?
One was going to be a lawyer. I think she eventually became a lawyer because I looked her up a while ago. I can't remember used to remember her first name. And the other one worked for no, the other one was somewhere in the theater or something. Had something to do with. Her father was a director or something like that. Oh
yeah, and then we crashed that party in
Helene Wasserman and Cheryl Bornstein.
Yeah. Oh geez. Well, that's at least 35
1987.
Years. Was that when it was?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
We went to England, had a tour through England.
That's right. And we were in Glasgow, and all the four of us sort of went in, and didn't we sort of crash that? Wedding?
We crashed a wedding, yeah.
Wedding in there because, in Glasgow, they're all drunk most of the time anyway, so they don't care. Another couple of bodies doesn't bother them. So let's see, a few more people have come in while we're reminiscing here. Jeannie's here. Hi, Jeannie. And Robin is here. Sue says family Christmas party. That's right. They kept stealing the flying tiger's quilt from each other. So much fun. Well, you knew that was going to happen for sure because that quilt is gorgeous. And given the fact that how your family feels about football and everything in there. Yeah. Phyllis is here. And Pat says, I think 41 years.
Huh?
Maybe that's the Hitchhiker's Guide thing. We're saying 42 and 41. My God, people. You can take the simplest thing and turn it into something that I don't understand with no problem. But that's not unusual. There's a lot of things I don't understand. But anyways, okay, well, welcome everybody. We're getting close to Christmas Day, so I hope everybody, don't you hate this? They always say, are you ready for Christmas? And my answer is, no, I have servants that will do that for me. Yeah, I hate that question. What are you going to say? What do people actually always say to it? They go, oh yes, no, most of them say, oh God, there's so much to do, and everybody's panicking over the bloody thing. So, I don't know. Denise is here. Hi, Denise. So anyways, yeah, well, before we get into the main event today, and we may stop a few minutes early today because we have dinner reservations for tonight in a new place, and we don't know what it's going to be like. It's got good reviews, so we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute because I do have some pictures of it as well. So we'll see if they live up to their pictures. But in the meantime, so this is the year of bag making for me. So I have been working on, and some of you have already done this bag, the Holland duffel bag. This is my first attempt at it, and I think it turned out pretty good. Walter even said he liked it. So that's great. So I made a second one, and the second one, I wanted to embellish a little bit. And so here's the second one, and yes, it is made out of Tula Pink, and I did some different embroidery on it, and I did quilt them. The first bag was quilted actually on my embroidery machine, and that didn't work out too well because I did it as a flat piece of fabric, and well, Yeah, you see, the bottom looks great. It's got lots of embroidery on it, but this upper part didn't really work
Mm.
out the same. And so it went on some of the pockets and things like that. So I decided on this version, I would just do straight line with my walking foot on all the pieces just to give it texture. And that worked out okay. And besides, Tulip Pink's fabric is pretty busy anyways. You'll notice I did add a little embellishment here onto the zipper pull as well. But there's another embellishment which I am not showing you. No, I'm not showing you today, which was an oopsie. I had a little problem, and I'll talk about that on Idiot Quilter this week. Some of you that were at my pop-up sew day yesterday and were there when I premiered the bag, you know what I'm talking about. So shh about that. But yeah, so I've made 2 of these now, so got that down. I'm moving on to a different type of bag, sort of a project bag, a tool bag kind of a thing. And that's what I'm going to work on next. So many of you have been asking, how's Walter doing with his shirts? So let's have
I've
an
got
update.
one down, one done, and the other one's getting close to being done.
Yeah, we are going to premiere them on Christmas Eve. That's this coming Wednesday during our social that we're having. More about that in a second, but he's getting there. Mine is all done. It looks fantastic. And Walter's is going to look equally as fantastic. So, yeah, because when does Walter's shirts not look fantastic? And of course, we are always wearing one of Walter's shirts. I wear a Walter shirt every day. Sometimes twice in a row. Sometimes 3 times in a row. Don't judge me. I shower. As long as I don't drip something down the front like an old man, which does happen. On okay, what are you making rolly eyes for? Yeah, right. You don't. You're usually dropping something. That's why you wear t-shirts all the time, not your shirts. You just slop. Well, after all this time, I guess you can. So, anyways, that's the update on the shirts. Let's talk about what's coming up and what's not coming up. What's not coming up for the next 2 Wednesdays is Sewing with Stephen. I've canceled them because Wednesday this week is Christmas Eve, and we have, as you know, you've heard us talk about it, we have our whole family. We're going to have, counting Walter and I, 14 people here for Christmas dinner. And so I've got a lot of cooking to do. And when I say we, I mean Walter has a lot of cooking to do. I'm doing some cooking as well. So we got to get the bird in the oven the day before and all the other things that we can prepare in advance. And I've got to get the rec room all set up so we can seat people, because that's where the table is going to be and whatnot. And I was doing a little bit of organizing some of my things for that earlier today. So no sewing with Stephen on this Wednesday, and there will not be any sewing with Stephen on the following Wednesday, because that is New Year's Eve. And not that we have any plans for it, but I am going to have a pop-up sew day the next day. So that's the New Year's Day pop-up sew day. You will find links in the show notes for the new Christmas Eve, and next week in my and they'll be there next week as well for that. The week after that, on my vlog in Idiot Quilter, and probably on Stephen and Walter next week, will be the link for the New Year's Day pop-up sew day as well. And of course, if you're on the mailing list, everybody will on the mailing list. I'll send that out to you in advance as well. Everybody is welcome. Come and go as you please at any of these events. For the Christmas Eve party, that's really not a sewing event, although if you so desire, you by all means go ahead, sew if you wish. But we're only here for a couple of hours, from 7 p.m. Eastern time, our time, and until about 9 o'clock-ish. And we're just going to, talk to everybody. I've got some fun videos to show. I've got some maybe some games to play as well. Just have a good time. So bring booze. You may need it. Makes the time more fun. And bring a snack or whatever. We'll be eating something. I don't know what we'll be eating, but we'll be eating something. And we just have a good time. And we haven't done this for a couple of years, because last couple of years, we've been down in Georgia for a retreat. And of course, we're not going this year, so we're home. So yeah, thought we'd bring it back, the New Year's Eve social. And I know there's a lot of people out there that might be alone on Christmas Eve, not New Year's Eve social, Christmas Eve social, slip of the tongue. I know there's a lot of you out there that may be on your own for one reason or another. And so this is an opportunity for you to, for a few hours anyways, to, capture the festive spirit, so to speak. So as I said, that's this Wednesday evening, Christmas Eve, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's a Zoom. It's not a YouTube Live. Link is in the show notes below. Okay, so you've probably already realized that we have days 1 to day 20 of the Missouri Star Quilt Christmas Advent, Jenny Doan's, whatever you call it, box. And so we've got 20 days under our belt. Christmas Day will be the last 5 days of that. And there are links in the show notes below for all of those videos if you have not seen them yet. Okay. So what else have we been up to? I decided to make Turkish Delight. So I'll show you what it looked like in the pan. There it is. That's Turkish Delight. Now, Turkish Delight is my all-time favorite candy. And I think I've discussed this before.
Yeah, last week you were.
Yeah, I did.
About
And
it,
yeah, and that I said I was going to make it. Well, I made it. It takes a long time to make. There's a lot of boiling and whatnot. And then it has to set, and you're supposed to leave it at room temperature for at least 5 hours, but overnight it's, a better idea. And it came out pretty good. And there it is, the finished product. And actually, I got quite a bit of it. That's only one of 3 of these Tupperware-ish things full. And that white stuff is, of course, not cocaine. It is, well, I'm sure you could use cocaine, but, it is icing sugar, right? And it's supposed to have the powdered sugar. Well, I tested it. I tasted it. To me, it tasted the way I remember it as a kid. When we used to get the real stuff, it melts in your mouth. It's, in my opinion, absolutely delicious.
And it does not have gelatin in it.
And
right?
it does not have gelatin in it. No. And therein lies the problem. So Walter comes out after I had done all of this and whatnot, and I was feeling very proud of myself. And he says, and what did you say?
No, I just said it was a little moist.
A little moist. And then I opened up the container and all of the icing sugar had disappeared. And why was it you thought that it was a little moist?
Well, I don't, the original instructions said you should boil it for like a couple hours or something like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
for 1.5
simmer it for a long time.
1.5 to 2 hours and stir it. It said stir it every 2 minutes so it doesn't catch. I stirred it every 5.
Yeah. And I think it could have been simmering a little longer.
Also,
I think more of the water moisture would have evaporated.
And this is what Walter's talking about because I took a picture of it this morning. That's the way it looks now. It is not melting because it's not something that melts or anything like that. But what has happened is because there's too much moisture in it, it absorbed the icing sugar. You can see little traces of it in the bottom in there. It still tastes the same. It still tastes good and it's got the right texture and everything. But yeah, I should have left it a little longer to avoid the problem. The other thing is Walter doesn't think what?
I don't think it has enough. Well, I only tried a little tiny bit, but it tastes, to me, it doesn't have enough rose water in it.
I thought it did.
Well, I don't know. I could try it again and see. But if you do, if you like it.
Yeah, well, I did what the recipe said.
Yeah.
Maybe I could give it a little bit more rose water in the next time.
But then it adds more moisture, but I don't know.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. So the air was let out of my sails on this one. It still tastes good and everything. It's just that it's not quite right. Actually, it looks like pink pork meat right now. Oh, that's not appetizing.
Pink slurry.
Or like that chicken you left on top of the freezer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I discovered when I was looking for something in the freezer the other day that on top of the freezer was a Ziploc bag with chicken thighs that were bloody and had melted.
Yeah, I was rearranging the freezer and I took a package out and must have put it on the top of the freezer and forgot to put it back in.
Yeah, can you say salmonella? We threw that out. So yeah, not going to worry about that. But anyways, I will try again when I've got like 5 hours to kill. To make this again. I am determined I will get it right. But yeah, I think Walter's right that it needed to go longer. So anyways,
I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not.
It's better than
for a first try.
Well, it's better than the stuff I made several
Yeah.
years ago that had gelatin in
Yeah.
it, and that stuff was
Yeah.
just crap. But anyways, so let's see what people are saying before we move on. And if anybody else has come in, where did I leave off? Oh, Colleen is here. Hello, Colleen. And Denise. 41 years together as a married couple. Well,
No,
no,
we couldn't get married.
we couldn't
40
get married.
years ago.
But we're going to talk about that. So we'll just hold that thought for a moment here, because just a couple of other things to go through. Susan's here. Hi, Susan. Gloria likes my bags, and other people do too. Thank you. I'm very proud of them. Photo Princess 1 is here. And we already talked about the Turkish, so she wrote that message before I saw it. Does Walter have a separate sewing channel?
Nope.
End of that. Well, thank you. Well, I'm not hurt. Trying to compete us against each other, are you? Okay.
No, I'm not a YouTube creator. And I don't really want to be one.
And the next question I'm sure you're thinking of is, does Walter do tutorials of
Nope.
making shirts? And he won't. No, he does not. And Adam says, I was just going to ask, here for the Turkish Delight update. I'll be there New Year's Day, all going well. I may be long arming with you on a tripod. Okay, well, that's great, Adam. I hope you are able to join us. Always love it when you're here. Barb says, would you believe my daughter found Turkish Delight at Marshall's? It was very good and only cost $4.99. No, I don't believe that, Barb. I believe she found something that's Turkish Delight.
Yeah, it's called Turkish Delight.
Because you know why? I bought some once too. And I bought it at...
It's rubbery.
Yeah, it's rubbery. It doesn't have...
Because it has gelatin in it.
It is very hard to explain if you've never had real Turkish Delight made the right way, what it tastes like and what it feels like. You put it in your mouth and it instantly starts to just like melt, kind of. It's definitely melt in your mouth kind of an experience.
Yeah, I try a little piece of what he made, and that's the stuff that I remember as a kid. I never really cared for it that much as a kid, but he really likes it. So.
Nobody else in my family ever liked it, but my grandmother bought it for me, and ever since I was a kid, I've always been on the hunt for the ultimate. I have been to Istanbul, and I have bought what supposedly was real Turkish Delight there, and it was not. It was the same as what I'm sure
it's the commercially produced stuff. Yeah.
And it will say on the boxes, and I have bought it, where it says, product of Turkey or something like that. And, it is something that doesn't say stay stable for long periods of time. In fact, in the rest, I looked it up to see how should you keep it in the fridge or can you freeze it? And what they said was in line, you said, well, you can keep it in the fridge, but it may cause it to become moister and you'll get this other problem. And they said you could freeze it, but you got to let it thaw out for 10 hours and it can also have more watery consistency to it if you do that. They recommend you keep it at room temperature in an airtight container, and they say you can keep it up to a month in that way. So, yeah. So, stuff that they may be shipping over to stores in North America that may say from Turkey, they must have they do it differently in order to preserve it longer. Let's see. Adam says, there's always a risk of tasting like perfume. Yes, and Turkish Delight does have a perfumey smell to it. It's the rose water and can be kind of perfumey in taste too. So, that's the thing. Like Walter said, he thinks it needs a little bit more rose water. I don't mind the taste of rose water in this, So if I put a little bit more, it won't really bother me. But yeah, for some people, it's
I mean, if you're
not.
happy with it, I think you just leave it the way it is because
Yeah,
I'm not really eating it. So
no, I know because it's got sugar. Um, Barb says, "Have you ever tried?" She says, "Dad, so candy called floral gums. They taste like soap or perfume.
yeah, that's thrills.
Thrills, cheap thrills. It's a purple gum. We have them
Yeah,
here in
thrills.
Canada.
They're
They're
called thrills.
they're probably called something else.
No, they're still called thrills.
Oh,
I've
well,
seen it.
she may be referring to
Oh,
another product.
yeah.
Like
Well,
that.
in Alberta, I'm sure they'll call it something.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, the thrills, cheap thrills. I'm not really fond of the cheap thrills.
I used to like them as a
I,
kid.
I don't like gum, so I'm just not a gum eater. Uh, Photo Princess says, I'd love to hang out on New Year's Day. Well, you're more than welcome to come. The link,
Yeah.
as I said, not next week. No, week after. The link will be in the show notes for the New Year's Day. Teresa says, "Hi guys, I wonder, can you wait to sugar the candy just for serving, or does it harden?" No, it doesn't harden. It's got like a very light gelatiny, like
Yeah, it's almost like gelatin.
it's almost, but not as, it's not like your hospital jello that's like will bounce for days, that kind of thing. So yes, you could do that. In fact, today what I did was I pulled that stuff that you saw on the screen out, and I gave it a little bit more icing sugar on it. It just absorbs it, and some of it pools at the bottom after half an hour or so. So, but you could do that. It doesn't look very nice when it doesn't have the icing sugar on it. It looks like raw pork.
Actually, you can buy it at Bulk Barn too. The Turkish Delight.
But I bought it
Bulk
there.
Barn, but it's not very good.
No, and if you think about it, the stuff in the Bulk Barn is in great big barrels, and it's coated in icing sugar, but it's stable. I mean, it's sitting there, and it's like, so it's got some kind of stabilizer in it. It may be just regular gelatin with it. Photo Princess, quit saying moist. Oh, getting you going. No, not trying to have him compete against you, but he does, so I would watch him. Yeah, he won't do it. I've tried to get him to do tutorials here on our channel, and no, he won't do it.
I don't like people watching me do stuff.
We have sort of a demo more than that. He did teach me how to make a shirt, and I made one shirt, and we did put that in, and that was on So Chatty back. I don't know when we did that, back earlier this year or last year. Anyways, so there is something, but it's not really a tutorial. Dubrovka says, now I have to make some Turkish delights. Al likes them. Al likes them, but sort of forgot about them till today. Now I have another project. Okay, let me know, Dubrovka, if you do make it, how it turns out for you and what recipe you use. And Barb says she buys British store in Calgary. She buys floral gums and Parma violets. Floral gums aren't what we call wine gums.
Maybe.
I don't know. Because I have never heard of floral gums. So maybe it's not thrills at all. Maybe it's wine gums. I don't know.
Thrills is a chewing gum.
Chewing gum. Denise says, my MIL used to put dark chocolate drizzled over the Turkish slice. It wrecked it for.
Probably wrecked it for me.
Or for me. Yeah. There's a chocolate bar we can buy here in Canada. I don't know. I think it's in Britain too. I don't know if they have it in the States.
Yeah.
It's called the Big Turk. And it is a form of Turkish delight. It's more like jello, hard jello. And it's coated in chocolate. Actually, they're very good. I kind of like them.
You've got those little square ones that you get. They're called Turkish Delight or whatever.
Yeah. Those ones. The Turkish. Those ones come from Britain.
Yeah.
They're Cadbury.
I thought they were fries.
Oh, are they fries? Oh, yeah. You're right. They're fries. But yeah, chocolate on Turkish Delight is good, but I like it in its original format.
The Turkish Delight chocolate with you can get these little square ones, and they're pink. and they see, I think they're called Turkish delight, or they're called Turk or something.
No, they're called Turkish delight.
Yeah, and they're covered in
That's right.
chocolate, and then they have a jelly inside it that's sort of like Turkish delight, but
Yeah.
it's not the same as what.
No, it's more like a, I don't know, I don't know how to describe it without saying the word jello, because jello doesn't describe it either. A very firm gelatin,
Yeah,
I guess you might say.
fries Turkish. Yeah,
Yeah. Let's see. Where are we going? Yeah, that's what Adam says. Yeah, fries Turkish delight. They're chocolate covered, but
Yeah,
again,
they-
not real. Yeah,
they are. We can get them here, but they're imported from Britain.
yeah. He says it's like the inside of a gummy sweets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Will Walter Teresa wants to know be making
I've-
olive for New Year's?
I've never made them,
What's olive
and I'm
oil?
just not interested in making it.
It's balls of something.
Yeah, it's almost like Timbits, but they're
Oh,
they're a Dutch thing. My grandmother used to make them, and I remember getting sick on them when I was a little kid.
no, the Turkish delight with chocolate don't really have the rosewater taste because I think the chocolate overpowers it. Carol Sows is here. When cornstarch thickened food is refrigerated, the starch molecules undergo a change that makes the food weep. Yep. And that's exactly what these are doing. They're weeping. Well, because I do have them in the fridge, only because I've got so many of them. So, and I'm basically seeing what happens. France is here. Get it here all the time. Yummy. Wherever over here, here is all the time. And what, Turkish delight, the chocolate covered, or Turkish delight, the real stuff? I don't know, Francis. Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah. Because I can't read your mind in there. But anyways, yeah, so it's an ongoing experiment. We'll see what happens as time goes by. I'll keep you informed. But I have to say, this is the closest I've ever come. So maybe just a question of cooking it a little longer. Okay, enough about Turkish delight. We had the neighbors here for Christmas, for a Christmas drink on Monday, and that was very nice. Heard all about their upcoming trips to, well, they're going to Africa on safari in, when do they go? February?
Yeah.
February. Sounds exciting. Not my cup of tea, but it sounds exciting. I really don't want to be eaten by a lion. I mean, I like cats, but, you know, not sure how well they'd like me. Might like me too well. Yum, yum. No. So, oh, Francis says Ireland, and yes, Turkish delight. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it was nice to have them over here, and then they brought us over. We gave them the dachshund bag that I made, because they're into dachshunds, and they have a cute little one over there. So I found this tapestry. I showed it to you, and I showed you the bag a few weeks ago that I made that had a dachshund on it, and they were just thrilled to have that because they're all about all things dachshunds and whatnot. Gave them a few other little things. We had told them and said no gifts, and I think they felt a little bad they hadn't brought us. Well, they brought us a nice bottle of wine, but no, as I try to explain to people, I make these things. Then what am I going to do with them? I got to give them to a good home. So yeah, and so Janine makes wonderful mincemeat tarts this time of the year, and they dropped over a tin of her tarts, and I have eaten most of them by now because I love mincemeat tarts, and Walter doesn't particularly like mincemeat, and plus they've got sugar, so you know he doesn't. I do. I shouldn't, because I have been trying to be a good boy, but it's Christmas. That's my excuse. Oh, and Barb says I agree. Likes pistachios as well. Yeah, Turkish delight. It has pistachios in. I didn't put any in this batch. That's something down the road to try. And you can put them in different flavors. You don't have to use rose water. The recipes I saw, some have lemon extract in them.
Some have mint in them.
And mint and orange, essence of orange and things like that. You can make it pretty much any flavor you want, really, with them. So, but anyways, okay, so what else happened? Oh, we delivered all the Christmas bags, you know, the ones that came from the dollar store that I embroidered and everything, to the ladies over at Ultimate Sewing. They They weren't, of course, all working the same day, but 3 out of the 6 of them were there, and they seemed to be thrilled with that. I kind of got shafted when I was trying to show my big quilt to the owner of the store, because this woman ran in and she had this quilt she had finished, and everybody had to go and ooh and ah, and that was it. And I thought she was kind of rude. Not Shirley, this woman. You know, we were there, we were looking at something, she came in, she unveils this quilt, and I mean, it wasn't, well,
It was all right.
it was okay. I didn't like the colors. It was applique, a lot of applique. I admired the work in it. That was for sure. She's giving it to her aunt, so, but, you know, kind of rude. But anyways, so much for that. I also wanted Shirley to see the quilt that I made, not only because I was proud of it, but also because they're doing it in the store. It is a block of the month thing. And Donna, who's teaching it, wasn't there to see it, so another time when I'm in. And so we delivered the bags and everything like that, and okay, this is kind of weird. So you know that I made a bag with table runner, matching placemats, napkins, napkin rings, for my hairdresser. I give her something at Christmas every year. And remember the color scheme? Aubergine and sage and all that. And, you know, I spent all that time like trying to find those colors, and thank God for Shirley at Ultimate Sewing. She really helped me out a great deal with that. And I put in some of my 3D printed things in the whole bit. And on top of that, I gave her 2 quilts and a Christmas table runner for her mother, because she kind of hinted around that, you know, her mother had this, her mother and her stepfather, her mother's husband, they have these loungers they sit in all the time, and they have these ratty old blankets they kind of wrap around them while they're watching TV to keep them warm. And I said, well, you know, if you want, I got lots of quilts and things, you know, tell me what your mother might be interested in. And I said to her, at the time that I said this to her, I would, you know, let me know what you'd like. I can bring some in and you can choose one for your mother. No problem. Well, she never got around to telling me anything, because this is not unusual for her. And so I thought, well, I'll pick a couple of quilts out, one for her mother, one for the stepfather. And I happened to come across a Christmas table runner that I had made last year, but I've never used it or anything. It's just part of my collection of things I've never used. And I thought, well, you know, she might want a little table runner, festive table runner kind of thing. So I threw that in the bag too. We took all that stuff to her. She never looked at it. She never opened up the bag. Gave us a hug. Merry Christmas. Bye, on your way. That seemed very unusual to me from her, because any other time that I've ever given her anything, she's opened it right up and she looks at it and she does all the commiserating noises that one wants to hear when you make things for people, you know. Yeah, I'm not too big a person to admit I like to be thanked. Well, she did thank me, you know. Oh, thank you, this is so nice, but never looked at it. Nothing. You know, there was no discussion. Like, I was hoping she would realize I picked the colors that she had told me that she really liked and everything like that. So maybe she was just really busy that day, although I didn't see anybody waiting for her services after I was done. Or maybe she had something else or whatever. I don't know. I anticipate that she will send me a text message or something, and maybe, you know, maybe it just, she was just was real busy. I don't know, but it's a little disheartening, you know, about that. So anyways, we will see. Not getting anything next year. No. Yeah, I probably will anyways. What are people saying here? Ireland, I agree. Pistachios. Adam says, we are a whole mincemeat and apple, or a apple glory tart between us the other night, and I'm not even sorry. Oh, they ate. Not supposed to serve 6. Yeah, well, put me in front of mincemeat tarts and they're gone. I inhaled them. Barb says her grandmother, who was from Wales, made delicious mincemeat tarts. I miss her and her tarts. There's a joke in there somewhere, but we'll leave it. Okay, so what do we got planned tonight? Well, we're going out for dinner after this. We've got a reservation in a new place that I actually didn't know this place existed, because it's in a little town that's very close to us. and it's right actually next door to a pub we go to, especially in the summertime, quite a bit for dinner. And it's called Brunch Beyond. And here's their Facebook page, so you can get an idea of the kind of place we're going to. It looks really kind of interesting. Let's see, pictures. I don't know how long it's been open for. Fancy cocktails. Lots of fancy cocktails with flowers stuck in them. Well, when we're not seeing, I don't know what we're supposed to be looking at there. Whoever took these pictures. And inside. Now, I saw a Facebook page where I found this. Actually, it was Shirley again from Ultimate Sewing. I don't know if she knows the people that opened it or whatnot. But
she lives in that area.
yeah, so she was talking about it, and Walter checked out the reviews, and the reviews were good, weren't they?
Yeah.
With it all. So, yeah, so that's where we're going tonight anyways for dinner. So it's got a fairly extensive menu, it seems. It's got this, that. It's not particularly inexpensive, but no restaurant is. I would say it's probably a par for the course for this style of restaurant and everything. So yeah, we're looking forward to Din Din's tonight. I don't care how much it costs. We're going to have a good time. We don't usually go out on our anniversary.
Yeah, mainly because it's too close to Christmas.
Yeah. And so every place, actually, I was surprised I was able to get a reservation. But I did. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe it's not.
Bologna tutorials.
I put the recipe on one of my bolognas.
Yeah, it's Vlogmas.
Oh, I like bologna better. Really simple. You'll probably like it, and you can keep it a couple of days in the fridge. Oh, that's your mincemeat and apple pie. Sounds good, but Walter won't eat it. He does not like mincemeat. So yeah. The restaurant Dubrovka is in a place called Curtis, which is just right next door to our town, to our city. So it's like a 20-minute drive from our place there. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to that tonight. Are you looking forward to that tonight?
Yep.
Are you looking forward to looking long and deep into my eyes over a nice glass of wine? And oh, you're so cute. I think I'm going to throw up. So anyway, speaking of throwing up, so let's talk about 42 years, because they say the first 50 are the hardest, so we've got 8 more to go. But on a serious note, this is no small feat. And somebody already mentioned that up here, that, yeah, I mean, in this day and age, divorces are rampant. People last, for a few years and then split up. And in the gay world, it's, used to say if the 2 people were together for 2 weeks in the gay world, that was a long-term relationship. I think that has, well, I don't know if that has changed.
Well, no, we know of
enough
a few
couples.
other couples that are long-term too. So
With it. But 42 years, yeah, and for any of you out there that have been married for a long, long time, it's not all hearts and flowers, for sure. And relationships need to be worked at and on. But I think, well, first of all, I think the first thing, what would you say, why have we lasted so long?
probably because we're friends.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. We are good friends. We are best friends. More than anything else, I think. And we also have a lot of similarities.
We have similarities, and we have enough differences to make
keeps things interesting.
Yeah, we're not completely alike. Obviously, I don't really like to quilt, but I'll still sew.
I don't like garments, so.
And we tend to like the similar food.
Yeah.
And we have similar tastes in TV shows and things
And
like that.
in like
And in music.
decor and music and things like that. Not exactly the same, but um yeah. So that helps because that avoids arguments over things. But I think, well, first of all, we have been asked this question many times. Um, and Adam says now Adam's in a long-term relationship too, and he's married, and we are married as well. We've been married for
20 years.
20 years. Yeah, it'll be 21 this coming summer. But we'd been in a relationship for 22 years before we were able to get married because it wasn't legal. And we never ever considered getting married because
We've been together for so long.
well, not only that, but it wasn't on because it wasn't legal.
Yeah, because we knew when we got together, we knew it wasn't legal. So we just assumed that we'd never be able to get married.
Yeah.
So then this came around and we said, well, we might as well get married.
I like to joke about the fact we got married because it was revenge for all the straight weddings we'd been to over the years and the gifts we'd given. It was our turn to get gifts. And in one way, it was a little bit. Not the gifts getting thing, but it was like, you know, we've been to all your weddings. We have shelled out the money to give you a nice wedding gift and do all that kind of stuff. You've had all the pomp and circumstance that goes with that kind of celebration. And here we are, you know, second class citizens because we couldn't get married. And so when the opportunity came up, I think it was the year after it became legal in Canada. We're sitting at the table one night and we just got talking and said, well, why don't we? Now, there are some legal implications of being married as well, which Walter had already figured out. Meaning, like, there was.
I mean, in Canada, if you're living with somebody for a year, I think it's only a year, you can be recognized as a legal couple under common law. But there's still gray areas when it comes to splitting up property and things like that. When even if you're common law, you have to go to court and all other stuff to get it. But if you're married, it's an automatic thing. Like, I mean, it's if one of us passes away, everything automatically goes to the spouse. So
Yeah. So, and then we also thought, and then at the time of planning our wedding, what kind of wedding were we going to have? Because, okay, when it first became legal, there were a lot of gay couples getting married, and it was a novelty for many of them. And they're probably the ones that aren't together today because they wanted to have an over-the-top wedding thing because, you know, the gays. They can be a bit flamboyant and showy. Don't look at my shirt. But like some that have like rainbow balloon arches and everything's done in rainbow colors and stuff like that. That wasn't our color scheme. Our color scheme was burgundy, black, and silver. That was our color scheme. I mean, I made all our invitations for it myself because at that point in time I was doing paper crafting and that kind of deal. And we wanted it to be a party. So basically the ceremony, we did it right in, there's a local golf course only like a mile to the north of us. That's where we had it in there. We made all the arrangements for it there. We had, we invited, I guess we had about 80 guests for it. So it was a small wedding, but that's what we wanted. Most of the people there were friends, straight friends. We had one table for the gays, and that was a small table. I think there was only, what, 6 or 8 at that table. The rest were all straight people there. And of course, we had our family. We had the dead and dying table with my mother and my father.
They weren't too happy.
They weren't happy with it, so we just ignored them most of the evening. And we had a really good time. It was a party. We had door prizes. Yeah, we had marked all of our tables with something that was significant to us, and people had to guess what they meant and go up and tell the DJs, who were a gay couple that we knew, whose wedding gift to us was being our DJs, and they were excellent DJs. And so we gave out as prizes, movie theater passes and stuff like that. So it was for fun. We just had a good time. Uh, we had a Unitarian minister because at the time, not all the churches would marry you. And seeing how I was a born again agnostic at the time, and Walter's always been an agnostic, possibly borderline atheist, kind of a thing. So we got a Unitarian minister, and she was not just going to marry us off the bat, like, here's my fee, I'll marry you. No, she came and interviewed us.
You asked us a bunch of questions.
She asked us a lot of serious questions with it. I don't know if she appreciated the fact that we wanted hardwood floors, so we asked everybody to get us gift certificates from Home Depot. And they did. And we have on that. But she was very nice, and she was very, very thorough, I thought, in the questions she asked us. So, she wasn't taking this as a joke. Well, we didn't take it as a joke either. So then we had a couple close friends, a straight couple that walked us up sort of the aisle. It was in the banquet hall of this, or banquet facility of this golf club. So, and Walter almost fainted. I'm looking at him, and his eyes are starting to roll back in his head, and not in the way you're used to seeing him roll his eyes. And I grabbed him and said, "Stay with me." And he recovered, but I thought, oh my God. But anyways, yeah. So that was 20 years ago. And so, yeah, everything's legal, but we do not really celebrate our wedding anniversary. It's July the 15th. We don't do it. We celebrate December 21st. And you're going to say, why? Well, that brings me to how we met. Okay, you've got to picture this. This is 1983. All right. We were not out because our jobs, especially my job, would not allow me to be out. I mean, I'm a teacher, and it was grounds for dismissal from that if they had found out that I was gay. Yeah, talk about your primitive times, right? Here in Canada, of all places. They just had passed in 81 our human rights code, but the human rights code at that point in time didn't have the addendum added to it that it got a little bit later, which was it recognized the fact that if you were a gay, a part of the LGBT community, you could not be discriminated against in the workplace or in other places as well. So the school board, could have fired me if they found that out. So everything in those days was underground, including how you met people. Now, I'm not going to get into some nitty-gritty details in the secret life of the gay people, okay? But I'm just going to say that no internet in those days, nothing. So how did you meet somebody that you were really trying to, instead of just picking somebody up at a bar? Personal columns in the newspaper. And a friend of mine, he said, you should put in an ad in the newspaper. And I said, oh God, no, that's for losers. I'm not doing that. And he says, no, he says, you should give it a try. He said, because he had done it once or twice. And he said, actually, it's not what you think. So I decided I'd do that. I put an ad in the personal column of at the time, it was the Toronto Star. And you paid a fee, you put in so many words, and for about 2 weeks, they would send you, if anybody wrote into them. Now, they wrote to the newspaper. The newspaper had your address, and they would put everything that came in on any given day, letters, they'd put them into a big brown envelope and address it to you, and it would come to your address. And I have to admit, it did make reading the mail interesting. So for 2 weeks, I ran that ad, and I got 40 letters. And I got some doozies. Oh my God, yes. And you know something? I destroyed all those letters, and I really wish I had kept them, because they would have been funny to read now. But at the time, no, because, hey, if anybody ever found these, yeah. Out of all of those that replied, 6 of them I actually called. They had their phone number. Again, no email. Okay, not as we know it today at all. So I had to call them or write to them, and well, most of the time I didn't bother to write to them. Wasn't worth it. If they had a phone number, then I called them. So I called them, talked to them on the phone, and so I met six, five of them actually, five out of six. Oh my God, no, 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 no. To make a long story short, I became very quickly disillusioned with this and was pretty much had my mind made up. I was not going to renew the ad. That was it. Tried it, not working for me. On the very last day of when the ad was still valid and I could get any mail from them, I got a single letter. Guess whose? Now, tell them how it was that you ended up sending me the letter.
Oh, I wrote it for a while and was carrying it with me. And then I went for drinks with friends and got the nerve to post it in Toronto outside the Royal York Hotel.
Today we would call that, what's the expression for sending drunken text messages or something?
So yeah, so I thought, okay, here goes nothing. Throw this in.
So I get
And
it.
then when I got the phone, he phoned me and I was kind of in shock.
Yeah, he said two words, if that. I mean, I've got him on the phone. He was local too, and that was the one reason why I contacted him, because his letter was nothing to write home about. I can't even remember what you said in the letter.
Oh, I can't remember what I wrote. So.
No, it was drunken blurb.
No, I wasn't drunk when I wrote it. So.
Yeah, so I called him, talked to him. I was asking him 50 questions, yeah, this kind of stuff. And when I got on the phone, I was going, oh, he sounds like he's probably an accountant or something. He sounds pretty boring. Now you have to remember, I was 26 years old. I was looking for the knight in shining armor. I had a vision that was very unrealistic, to say the least. But I had that. But the saving grace was, I thought, well, he's local. So we made arrangements to meet. He came to my apartment. And I wasn't expecting a whole hell of a lot, and I really wasn't disappointed. But he comes to the door looking like he's about to crap his pants. I invite him in, said, would you like something to drink? Would you like a glass of wine or something? And so the guy says yes. Sits down, and we talked. And as we talked, I thought, well, I really don't have a relationship with this guy beyond maybe a friendship. It would be somebody that I could go maybe out to dinner with, go to a show with, that kind of thing, but not really my knight in shining armor here. And so we did decide to get together again on those grounds. And
then actually you were hanging around with a group of friends.
Yes.
And I guess you were going to that theater that played reruns and stuff.
Oh,
like that.
I forgot about that.
And so, I mean, most of my friends were getting married and having kids and stuff like that at the time, and I didn't associate with them, so I could have used a friend. So anyway, he said, "Why don't you come out to the show with the group at one point?" So I said, "Sure." So we did that for a while, and we started hanging out together, and then Steve said that he always wanted to drive out Western Canada for a trip, and I had planned to do that with another friend that I had, but then he got a really good job and he couldn't get the time off to do that. So we planned the next summer to go drive all the way to Vancouver and back, and we did that. And after we returned, that pretty much
Cemented it.
Yeah, cemented our relationship.
But we didn't instantly move in with each other either at that point. But before I jump to that part of this story, so we drove out west and we had a fantastic time, and we had absolutely no money. So we stayed in flea bag hotels all the way out because we wanted to go to every capital city. And we drove all the way out to BC, to Vancouver, and we went to Victoria and that. And then we drove all the way back. So that was one hell of a trip. It
actually worked out to be exactly 10,000 kilometers.
Yeah. And we came back through the northern states, to the border of to Canada and that kind of thing. I still think to this day, it was probably our best trip ever. But
We had
maybe,
a really good time.
yeah, because we had such a good time. But we were getting, so that's how we got to really know each other. And then it took us 4 years before we moved in with each other. Walter had a semi. I had an apartment, and the apartment was 2 blocks away from the school I was teaching at the time. He was, and I was in the town next door.
It's a semi-detached house. There's two houses stuck together. So
Yeah. And the thing was, you know, he was very proud of his house because he worked hard to get that house. And he still didn't trust me. And well, he had a father who, when
yeah,
we,
my parents weren't happy about me moving out.
no,
But
I mean, I'd met his parents and everything, but they didn't. Well, still, so I have to remember, nobody knew we were gay.
yeah, even my parents, I didn't.
No, my parents didn't
tell
know
them yet.
either. We were not out at all for the reasons I've already stated previously. So when we finally made the plunge and bought our first house together, yeah, we had to go through some financial stuff and whatnot, but we were able to buy it. And then your relationship takes on a whole new tone because now you're living 24/7 with somebody else. Before that, we tried to sort of move in with each other and switch places back and forth. It didn't work out because of our work schedules and where we, you know, Walter was commuting at the time into Toronto for work. So we left that for the weekends kind of a thing. So, you know, I would stay at his place Friday night. Saturday night, he'd stay at my place because I had to get up the next morning early because I sang in the church choir. Yes, I was a good Presbyterian boy in those days. That was before I became a born-again agnostic. That's a tale for another day. So, yeah. And then, oh, yeah, you want to talk about arguments? We had a few. We had some very, how do I put it? Not violent. Active arguments. Growing pains. But we still, and there were times that both of us were like, okay, this is not going to work. You know, maybe we should end it. But we didn't. Because the one thing that keeps our relationship going is communication as well. We talk. If something's pissing us off, we talk about it. And, you know, this is where I always, you've heard me use the expression, pick the mountain you want to die on. Because when I look back on those arguments we had in those days, that they were petty. They were about nothing. They, you know, it was just getting used to each other on an emotional level, I guess, or whatever in the time. And we now know each other's idiosyncrasies and we put up with them. You know, like pick the mountain you want to die on. You know, I make fun of all the time that Walter uses his floor in his sewing room as a filing system, you know, and storage system. But that's what he does. I learned very early on in the relationship, I can't change him. And he can't change me. So, you know, shut up or put up, you know, or put up and shut up. I guess that's the expression for it. And really, it's not that big a deal. Don't make a mountain of a molehill, really. So, and I think that's how come we've existed for all this time. We also know a lot of people on here talk about all the time that I'm so mean to Walter. That's your perception. You don't know us very well. You know, a lot of that is humor. A lot of humor in there. And sarcasm. Because he knows I'm sarcastic. He's used to it. But he's sarcastic in his own way, too, as well. So, you know, nobody's picking on anybody in here. Is our relationship ideal? Yeah, it is. Because we made it ideal. You know, the problem with gay relationships, too, is if they're based on the body beautiful, and many gay relationships are, that wears thin after a while. And so what often happens in those types of relationships on that is they go out looking for something better. And as you age, you know, we're all aging, you know what happens? You know, you may have looked hot when you were 25, but time has a way of eroding hotness you know? So there's got to be a little bit more in your relationship than just the physical with it. But some guys don't get that, and they're out trying to be
They're always looking for Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect and Mr. Younger too. Because for some reason, if a young guy comes up to me and starts saying like nice things to me, oh, you're so hot and all this stuff, I know he thinks I have money. Like, and there's a lot of older gay guys that don't get that. Like, come on. A 20-something doesn't want somebody that's pushing up in their late 60s. There are some that are daddy chasers, but, be real about it, realistic. A couple of years difference is not a bad thing. And I think that's another thing that works with us, too. We're both the same age. We're only
Pretty
6
much.
months apart. I'm 6 months older.
Yeah, you're older.
I got a
You're the
younger
older
guy.
man.
I got a twink. Yeah. But what I mean about that is you go through the same things together. Like,
Turning 65.
like through all the major milestones that happen with aging, we go through it at about the same time. And I think that helps with it. So, yeah. So I think the key is communication, having realistic goals, or if you want for that, and communication. I think that helps a great deal. You got to talk about what's bugging you and that. So, yeah. So I think that's why we've lasted for 42 years. And I don't look back. I would not have anybody else. And if I kill him tomorrow, which I'm planning, with that, I've been plotting it for years. Would I go into another relationship? No, I wouldn't. He'll say he would.
I don't know what I would do.
Actually, not for sure what I would do either. So let's hope I don't have to think about that, make that decision for many, many, many years to come. Yeah. Our wedding song, our song for our wedding was, what's her name?
Shania Twain.
Shania Twain.
Forever and always.
Forever and always. And that's really sums up our relationship, I think. That's why we picked the song. I'll cry now. I will. So, anyways, that's how we met. That's what it was like in the early years. So you might wonder why then December 21st is our anniversary. It isn't actually the date we actually met on. We don't remember the date. We know it was in around Christmas time. Because one of the times he came over, he got his car stuck in a snowbank outside my apartment. And
I drove into a ditch.
Yeah. So,
and I wasn't really drinking or anything.
No,
it was just
it was a bad snowstorm.
I was trying to turn around and I didn't realize there were ditches. And next thing you know, I'm in the ditch.
So I was out there pushing him out of the hole. Oh, that sounds really bad. Never mind. Yeah, so we decided to pick a date in around when we met. And I said, well, let's pick December 21st. Reason being, it's the winter solstice. It's the shortest day of the year, longest night in the year. That sounds like a good one to pick. And so that's why December 21st is our anniversary with that. So now you know that. The other thing that keeps us going too is people think there's roles that we play. And we're always asked this, and I'm sure, Adam, you've had this as well with you and Darren.
Who does the cooking?
Who does the cooking? Who does the laundry?
They're trying to pigeonhole you into the female
male
and male roles. And we just do whatever works for us.
We both have our talents.
We both cook. We both do the wash. We both clean.
Yes, there are certain things we do not co-mingle. That's our underwear. No, our laundry, we do our own laundry. I do my laundry, he does his laundry. Never the two should meet. No.
Yeah, and then I do the sheets and he does the towels. So.
Yeah, so there you go. Works out perfect on that kind of thing. You're probably asking, well, why don't you it's all in the washing machine? Well, the problem is I don't wash clothes the way Walter would wash clothes. So
yeah, I don't like the way he washes clothes. So
there was a time in my life, I don't do this now, but I used to use a lot of bleach. But not good. So yeah. So we don't do that. And Walter does more of the cooking now than I do, because I used to do a lot of the cooking because I'd be home first from work. So I had the time and I would do it. And then when I retired, I was still, and he was not yet retired, I was still doing most of the cooking. But then when he retired, he started to do more and more of it. And I said to him one time, I was feeling guilty because I'd be sitting there in the chair with YouTube on in the family room, and he'd be cooking away, doing dinner. And I thought, really, you shouldn't be doing all of it. And I said to him, well, I can do that. And he says, no, 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 I'll do it. I'll do it. I said, you just don't like my cooking. And he says, you're right.
Well, there's certain things you make that you're better at doing than I am.
Like burrito surprise.
Like chili and
Uh-huh. But anyways, I mean, I'm used to it, but I'm starting to forget how to cook. Well, he would also say, did you ever know how? But out of it. Yeah. I still do some cooking every now and then, but Walter's, okay, our roles are not masculine or feminine. Like we said, it's upon who's got the talent. Walter's talent is for stuff like not just cooking, but, fixing things around the house. I'm useless with tools. I mean, hand me a drill and I'll probably put a hole in my own head with it, because is this the way you use it? Zzz. No. I'm a bit of a ditz when it comes to that kind of stuff. Well, I'm not that much of a ditz, but I'm not good at it. I can't hammer a nail in straight. Well, that's because it's a gay nail. No, that's not it. But yeah. But on the other hand, I'm good at organizing and planning events and all that kind of stuff. So that's something I enjoy doing. Walter's really good at planning our trips. I'm really good at making reservations and stuff like that. But we have our own talents, and we just naturally
do what we're best at doing.
Yeah.
So,
but people who are not very much in the know about the gay world always try to peg you, and they think they're being clever when they ask us, well, who does the cooking? What they want to say is, who's the girl and who's the boy? Neither one of us are girls. We enjoy being men. Yeah. If we wanted to be girls, well, we wouldn't be. So, yeah, no. So it works for us that way. And I think that's also how a relationship goes. Capitalize on the talents of each individual, rather than...
I'm sure that there many regular straight relationships are
probably the same.
Are becoming more like that too, where they start sharing jobs like cooking and cleaning and things like that as well. I know lots of people that are married, men that are married, that their husbands do all the cooking.
Like my brother,
like my nephew,
Yeah.
my nephew's wife has can't boil waters.
Yeah. And men today, when they have their children in that, oftentimes here in Canada, since you can have a year of parental leave, you can also split that with your spouse. So many times the wife takes the first 6 months of the parental leave after she's come home with the baby and everything. Then she goes back to work, and the husband.
In fact, I knew a couple that I worked with, her and her husband. Her husband quit his job so that he could raise the kids while she worked. She had the better job.
Yeah.
She had the better job, so she became the monetary provider, and her husband looked after the kids.
So I think the one of the other little, if it's a secret, I don't know if it's a secret, to keep a relationship, whether you're married or common law or whatever, to keep any relationship stable, you've got to like the person as a friend. You have to realize that over time, physicality is going to change. You have to have common interests and goals, and you have to want to work together to make it work. It doesn't just, a lot of people go in with stars in their eyes, and then when that clears out, that's the end of the relationship. So I know there's lots of comments here, and Adam
was pretty active.
Yeah, Adam's got lots to say, so, and I'm sure it's good. So Adam says, Or let's back up a little further. Where do we leave off here? Oh, where's the restaurant? Okay. Adam says, well done, boys. It's great achievement. Darren and I feel like the rare few, too. It is unusual for gay couples. We enjoy each other's company and also are each other's biggest cheerleaders, like you two. That's very true. Gloria says, my sister and her wife have been together for over 50 years. And you know, Gloria, that is a major accomplishment in lesbian world.
Yeah, because we know more gay male couples that have been together for a long time and don't really know too many or have heard of very many women couples that are together. For some reason, the women don't
Well,
to last long.
without sounding sexist or anything, you know, two women, it could be bad, but that's incredible that they've been together for 50 years. Oh, Joanne is here. Hi, Joanne. Judy says, well, any relationship that lasts for 4 years is a great accomplishment. Congratulations. Thank you, Judy. Adam says, we got married for legal reasons, for spousal advantages, etc. We wanted to make sure there was less nonsense if something happened to either of us, because without it, it's meaningless. Yeah, and that's for us, too. That's the practicality of it all. Colleen says she loves the hardwood floor idea. That was perfect. Well, we didn't need crystal. I already got that. Didn't need silverware. Already got that. Although my parents' wedding gift to us was my grandmother's silver, because my mother didn't want to have to polish it. Yeah, okay, enough said about that. Adam says, just for anyone that has not been able to meet Stephen and Walter in person, all the joking and banter aside, are one of the loveliest couples. That all I will say, because I'm not going to be so soppy. Adam, you're now my best friend. Our best friend. We love you, Adam. Yes. And for those of you that don't know, we have met Adam in person as well. And Adam is equally as lovely. We had a very nice time with him when we went to Birmingham for the quilt show.
And found that conversation was very easy with Adam, not uncomfortable or anything.
I mean, I would love to someday be able to meet Darren. I mean, you guys need to come here to Canada. Really. We'll show you around. We'll show you a good time. No problem with that. You got a knight in a custom shirt.
Yeah, no, a newspaper also means that they can read. Which is
that's a good start. Yeah, really. Yeah, and of course, for me being an English teacher, right, it was important. I did analyze the letters in the way the sentence construction was and the spelling and everything. I did. I really did. But we can keep trying to get to be tidy. Okay, looking for Mr. Perfect while rocking a toupee. I see a lot of that now. Yeah. And let's see here. Rachel's here. And she says, I should be in any relationship. Yeah, Rachel. Being in a gay relationship isn't really that different from being in a straight relationship. Just the difference is neither one of us can have children. We can adopt. We don't want them. Too old. I'm past my childbearing years. Charlotte says, my late husband and I were married just shy of 46 years, which is an accomplishment in itself, Charlotte. Sweet Granny says, do you have wedding pictures to show? We do have a wedding album. We
do have wedding pictures somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, well, I know where they are. They're in the album.
Yeah.
But they're not, well, actually, I think they may be.
We do have digital.
There should be digital, and that should be in that album. Maybe I'll look those up one day and see. The problem with the pictures, one of our friends, for her wedding, she had got a brand new camera, and was, as a wedding gift to us, she took our wedding pictures. And later when I put the album together and showed it to her, she says, I did a really good job of these pictures. I didn't have the heart to tell her that I had to put them all through Photoshop and do a little bit of enhancement in them, because they were a little overexposed, underexposed, things like that. So I was able to salvage them the best I could. But her heart was in the right place. So to this day, she doesn't know I've ever done that. So, yeah, that's our little secret. If you ever meet her, don't say anything, okay? You don't know who she is. Adam says, we're planning Canada in 2027. Okay. You when you have that figured out, you let us know. And yep, we promise we will take you out and show you a good time. And if you need any place to stay while you're here, we've got a guest bedroom with its own bathroom. So yeah, whatever. Walter will cook. No, I would say I would cook, but I don't want to make it sound like a threat. Dubrovka says, this was a really beautiful story. Thank you for sharing. Oh, you're welcome. So, yeah. Anyways, it looks like we've covered everybody and we have dinner reservations. So we're going to sign off here. Thank you for joining us today, helping us celebrate our 42 years of bliss. Or is it blisters? I'm not sure. One or the other. But with that, yeah. So remember, this Christmas Eve, Wednesday night, we're having a social. All are welcome to join us at 7 p.m. Link is in the show notes for this when this gets rebroadcast, and it'll be in my vlog on Monday and an Idiot Quilter on Tuesday, and I'll send it out to people on the mailing list. So I hope you guys, he says, I'll bring real Turkish delight. Okay, Adam, you're on. And yeah, thanks everybody for joining us and helping us celebrate. And